Yo, what's up guys? It's Kaz here from Postnatal Recovery, and today we're going to be talking about when can I start training again after I've had my baby. Now once you've had baby, things might be different. You may have had a C-section, you may have had a natural birth, it may have taken you ages, it may have been a short one. There will be so many different variables going on, so many different facts to the plan ahead. So we need to assess what's happened with you in the last 24 hours and what can you do next. Before we go any further, I want you to remember the statement for later on in the video. Once you've had your baby, you need to start practicing and training straight away. Today we're going to go over 3 teach points. Teach point number 1 will be perspective. Teach point number 2 will be fundamentals. And teach point number 3 will be rest and progress. Okay, now remember that statement I said to you before. You need to start training straight away. It's all based on the way you perceive training, okay? To some people, as soon as they hear the word training and associated with fitness, they think, oh my gosh, a hard session, I'm gonna sweat, I need to sweat, I need to feel some sort of pain, and I need to be really extremely tired every time I train. This is not true, at least not for the case that we're involved in right now. What I'm talking about with our postnatal recovery group is we want to start focusing, we want to start practicing, and we want to start remembering, okay? Those 3 things are going to make it a lot easier when it comes to our next teach point, but first let's focus a little bit on our perspective. We need to start thinking outside of the box, okay? There are heaps of different things that you're going to need to start doing in the next 24 hours, and one of them is going to the bathroom. And when you go to the bathroom, you're going to need to at least pee. And when you do that, you're going to need to start using your core section to release and to stop yourself while you're peeing. Amazing, right? This is our first step for training. We're going to start learning how to control again just by doing a simple, basic daily activity. Now, this activity is extremely important, all right? This is the pelvic floor. This is learning how to re-engage our pelvic floor so we don't have any nasty accidents. We don't have poor core stability when it comes to performing harder exercises, and so that we know how to contract these particular muscles. So my last point for perspective is, remember, you need to start training straight away, but that type of training is very dialed down. It's focusing, it's remembering, and trying to bring that core mind-muscle connection back again just by contracting through our pelvic floor. Now this brings me on to teach point number 2, which is the fundamentals. Alright, so the pelvic floor and the massive core section and basically all of that area is going to be highly involved in making sure that you are building strong fundamentals, strong foundations, so that when we move into a more difficult exercise, those foundations are set and they're going to help you cruise through. The importance of the pelvic floor and the core system goes as far as powerlifting itself. I'll even stress to the ladies right now who are lifting around 80 to 100 kgs on the bar that you need to draw in your core. You need to suck that baby in, because we need to make sure we are tight every time we're going to lift. So if you practice these foundations now, you will notice how much easier all of the breathing and engaging is later on when we do the harder exercises. Teach point number 3, rest and progress. Okay, this is a really difficult one. If you've watched my video before, I talk and I delve a little bit into progression, but it's still not as much as you probably need to know. So first things first, let's take it slow. Alright, in those first 3 weeks, it is very important for you to start re-establishing that mind-muscle connection, especially within the core section, alright, your pelvic floor and your main core area, relearning, remembering how to do it again. The more you do these basic exercises, the better you're going to get. So we need to make them a little bit harder. And how do we do that? Well, the easiest progression you can use, especially when it comes to contracting through the core, is added time. Always remembering though, we are taking it slow. So maybe in the first week, 2 to 3 times, 2 to 5 seconds of holding on your pelvic floor and your core section, then relaxing, then doing it again. Then when we hit week 2, maybe you can push yourself a little bit further this time, 5 to 10 seconds, and so on and so forth. The next big point of rest and progress though is rest. Alright, making sure that we have adequate rest in between. Although it may not feel like you're doing a lot of added work and you may be used to doing a lot more work than what you're doing now, you need to allow your body time to rest. You are still building muscles, so there is a recovery process that you need to go through. Hence why I say 2 to 3 times a week, maybe in the first week, and then another 2 to 3 times a week, maybe in the second week. Last point I want to make with regards to rest and progress is your progressions may be different to another person. Alright, so your buddy down the road might progress faster than you, or you may progress faster than them. Remember, it's not a race. We're just trying to get you back into the game. Just to recap on today's teaching points, teaching point number 1, perspective. Change your perspective of the word training. Alright, we're going to look at it more like practice. Teach point number 2, fundamentals. Alright, making sure we do those foundation exercises right the first time and mastering them before we move on. And teaching point number 3, rest and progress. Make sure we rest enough, make sure we're resting adequately. Learn how to progress, learn when it is the right time for you to progress.
From the block to the ball court, D-boys taking shots as a baller, dope fiends will score more.